Hello, and welcome to this episode of To the Point. I'm Neil Stanley. Today we're going to talk about a new offering called Balance Builder Savings. With interest rates having risen so dramatically in 2022, with Fed funds now being with a target rate of 425 to 450, we know that cost of funds has only moved up modestly, with the last quarter FDIC reporting cost of funds at 0.64. If we go back in time and look at the last time interest rates were above 5%, we see that there are 3% levels for cost of funds. That's going to be a dramatic change, as that's 5 times the level that we're at currently as of the third quarter of 2022. So this environment is one that is quite dynamic, with interest expense looking to be the largest percentage change of anything on the income statement. We know interest income is going to rise, but as a percentage, not nearly as much as interest expense. So looking at the pricing of deposits, we can see that 50% of financial institutions had interest-bearing deposits less than 0.45 as of the third quarter. Uh, Likewise, transaction accounts were less than 0.19, 50%. And then with other savings accounts, 50% of financial institutions were less than 0.27. Those low rates going into this environment create a lot of tension, as bankers are considering how to keep cost of funds down and yet attract and retain deposits so that we can fund our operations. So the conventional approaches for funding non-maturing deposits have been to price using a couple strategies. One is tiered pricing. The whole approach here is to pay higher rates on larger balances. We've seen this for many, many years, this approach. Another approach is to offer a promotional rate that is guaranteed for a certain period of time before it reverts back to the variable rate approach. Today, we're going to introduce to you a new approach that combines those two ideas, tiering and teaser rates, and teaser rates that never expire. It's a very important opportunity in this new interest rate environment. We're going to use a split rate pricing approach to combine the tiered and teaser effects that reward deposit growth over the life of the account with ongoing interest rate incentives. Now, those interest rate incentives are continuously controlled by your financial institution. They're all variable, and the rate paid on growth is set monthly. This way, we're not putting any exposure into interest rate risk by using this balance builder approach. Let's give you an example of what this might look like. What we're doing here is showing you a conventional pricing approach for larger balances or getting paid higher interest rates. Then we have a promotional rate that's set on a monthly basis. That promotional rate is going to show something like 50 basis points less than Fed funds. 4% today would be an interesting level for promoting growth. And then we set another variable that's important. It's how we measure the growth relative to previous high balances. So we're going to start off showing you today a 1 month previous high balance to look at what the growth component of the account is and how we might pay on that. So using those parameters, if we open an account with $50,000 that is opened for the first month, it's all growth. It's all new balance to that account. So it gets the bonus rate. Nothing gets the standard tiered rate, and the 50,000 gets the bonus rate. Then if we go forward a month and they grow the account with $10,000 of additional balance, then we look back according to the number of months that we've set. If we set a 1 month previous average balance, then the 1 month previous average balance is 50,000. So 50,000 is going to get paid the standard tiered rate. And the growth, which in this case would be 10,000, is going to be paid the bonus interest rate or promotional rate. So we would calculate the interest, and there would be a blended rate that would be determined based upon the net interest paid. And then we can keep growing and keep going. And as we grow, the bonus rate is paid on the growth, and the standard tiered rate is paid on the historical high 1 month average balance. And so you can see that it keeps going with a blended rate. And then when we jump into a next tier, for example, in this case, there was a $100,000 tier. So the standard rate is applied to that, and it jumps up from where it was at less than 100,000. And so the bonus rate is only paid on growth for that month, and then the standard tiered rate is paid on the remaining balance. So that's an example you can see over the course of 12 months where the account's growing $10,000 a month, how it divides the interest payment between that eligible for growth rate and that eligible for the standard tiered rate. So let's consider, though, how we can enhance this from the depositor standpoint by moving the number of months to factor into the previous balance from one, which is the simplest approach, to a more complicated approach of 3, 6, maybe even 12 months. So using a 12-month previous average, we can see that the first month it's the same, it's all growth, so it all gets paid the bonus rate. And then the second month, what we're doing now is we're looking back for the previous 12-month average. We had 11 months of 0 and 1 month of 50,000. So that average is $4,167. With that average then, we're going to pay on that average the standard tiered rate, but anything above that's paid the bonus rate. In this case, we've left it at 4%. So you can see now that that blended rate stays much closer to the promotional than it did when we only used the previous 1 month. So this parameter can be set to make the account more or less attractive to the depositor. So it's something that could be negotiated on a situational basis. Keep in mind, we are not expecting any of these accounts to be just opened as a transition or conversion of existing accounts without a negotiation. It is our expectation that the opening of these accounts will all occur when a depositor says, I need a better deal. And we can then go in and offer them the Balance Builder account, which will be a new account for them, and we will track the lifetime high average balance for that account so that we can determine what amount gets paid the bonus rate, what amount gets paid the standard tiered rate. We're looking to make this approach operational. We are unaware of any previous application of this approach. Now, we are not able to guarantee that no one has ever done this, but to our knowledge, and as we've been doing our research, we have found no one having previously approached it this way. We are in conversations with the core providers and fintechs to explore ways of making this scalable. And we are looking at this point for interest from you as our clients and prospects to your interest in piloting this program once we find a way to make it operational with our clients. So it is a pleasure to explore these ideas. I hope you respond to me with an email or set up an appointment with me to talk about this, to understand it maybe more deeply, but to signal your interest in participating once we find a way to make it seamless and simple operationally. It has been a pleasure to present this new idea in this episode of To the Point. I hope you join me for future episodes. Please, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to our channel and set notifications to on so that you get every episode of To the Point. Make it a great day.